Developing tonight, new reaction to a new book claiming that Hillary Clinton has so-called political hit list. Among the biggest names, then Senator John Kerry, Senator Patrick Leahy, Congressman Chris Van Hollen, all of these are Democrats, not to mention Senator Claire McCaskill. We'll get to her in a minute. David Bossie is a former chief investigator for the House Oversight Committee during Bill Clinton's presidency. Matt Bennett is a former White House deputy assistant during the Clinton administration. Something tells me they're not going to see eye to eye on this issue. David, let me start with you, because you literally did a movie about Hillary Clinton, claiming this is what she's about, that this doesn't shock you at all. But as I said last night, in Mrs. Clinton's defense, if in fact this is true, they allege in this book it was kept by her staffers, wouldn't you keep a list if people who you backed for office then turned around and refused to back you? What's wrong with having a list of, these are the ones I like and these are the ones I don't?
Well, you know, Megyn, it's interesting. Politicians do that all the time. But it's really the pattern of lists. The Clintons like to keep lists. Back in the 90s, during the Clinton administration, when they were actually in power, they kept lists. And sometimes they came into power with lists like the travel office. They fired everyone in the travel office and actually criminally indicted some of them, and then of course they were found not guilty. So these people use Nixonian tactics all throughout their career. So this is just politics, and I don't really think that there's a lot there. A lot of Democrats, Chris Van Hollen and others, are claiming that I don't understand why I'm on the list, but lists are pretty regular around this town.
One person who should understand perfectly why she's on the list, Matt, is Claire McCaskill, who apparently they were very angry with because they had worked on her behalf, and then she turns around and goes on a Sunday show and says, Bill Clinton's been a great leader, but I don't want my daughter near him. Now, listen, that may give a lot of people a chuckle, and they may even agree. I don't know what their point of view is, but if you're the Clintons, no wonder you're mad. I mean, why would you then continue to help Claire McCaskill?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Megyn. As you said at the outset, everybody in this town keeps lists. That's what politicians do. And look, the Clintons, if you drew a circle around all of the people asking favors of the Clintons in the last 8 years, you would encompass the entire Democratic Party. Everybody wants a piece of the Clintons. They got to keep track of who's been helpful and who hasn't, and that's what every politician does.
So what is because David, some people are saying, no, this is just like Chris Christie. It's abuse of government power, but how?
Well, look, I mean, there's some similarities. Chris Christie's folks were keeping track of endorsements, and there seemed to be political payback.
In both cases, by the way, it's not the principal, it's the staffers around them.
That's very true, but the principals a lot of times know what staff is doing. And let me just say this. In the 90s, the Clintons had enemies lists of people in the media. Folks at ABC News, Jackie Judd and Chris Vlasto, Sue Schmidt at the Washington Post, and Steve Laviton, Jeff Gerth at the New York Times. This was very well known at the time that these folks were part of the enemies list, if you will, to call it to use that term because we're using it tonight. But the Clintons have a history of doing this, and folks just need to know.
You're using it. That term didn't exist in the Clinton world. That term was made up by Clinton's enemies like you.
No. Chris Lehane and Mark Fabiani created it. Mark Fabiani created it. Come on, let's not reinvent history. These guys came at us from the Clinton White House, and it's okay because we were coming at them too. It's a two-way street, but these guys on both sides had a lot to do with it, including the Clinton White House.
I'll give you the last word, Matt.
Look, what Chris Christie's people have done is have used the levers of power that's had a huge impact on the people of New Jersey and the New York area.
I know, but the concern by some is that that's what Hillary Clinton would do with her enemies list, if you want to call it that, if she were to get in power.
Yeah, but we had 8 years of the Clintons in power, and that just didn't happen, notwithstanding what some people call it. It just didn't happen. It was all made up. It didn't happen.
All right, guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who went to jail.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you both.
Thanks, Megyn.
Thank you.